Alright, so today I'm going to be going over my top 5 movies, unranked. No really specific order. I've got Stalker, Vertigo, Persona, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then Apocalypse Now. Alright, then starting with my first one, I have Stalker. Stalker is a movie made in 1979 by Russian director Andrei Tarkovsky. This is a Russian movie, so yes, it does have subtitles, but that shouldn't affect you if you can read. It is extremely beautiful not only in its cinematography, although it is amazing, but in its concepts that it explores, such as the effect of art on humanity, the meaning of life, the effect that an audience has on an artist's artistic integrity, and their struggle to maintain authenticity versus mass appeal to the public. The movie is genius in the way that it tackles these subjects as well, pinning people with conflicting ideals in a post-apocalyptic world together. But getting into the plot, this story is set in a dystopian future in which an area called the Zone exists that is a container of nature and is illegal to the general public. But there are people called stalkers. It then follows a group led by the titular stalker, by Alexander Kadanovsky, brilliantly, might I add, and he brings along a novelist and a scientist, played by Anatoly Solinsky, giving a performance of a lifetime, and Nikolai Grinko doing the same. Without giving too much away, their main goal is to find a mystical room that grants any wish onto a person that were to walk into the room. My favorite part about this concept of an all-powerful room that grants any wish is that characters discuss the morality behind it and how it can be used. So in summary, this movie is all around beautiful in its visual storytelling, concepts, and ideas that it explores. The way it explores said ideas and all around technical aspects such as acting and sound design really put the movie together in a fantastic way. Now for number 2, Vertigo.
Vertigo, a feeling of dizziness, a swimming in the head. Figuratively, a state in which all things seem to be engulfed in a whirlpool of terror, as created by Alfred Hitchcock in the story that gives new meaning to the word suspense.
Vertigo is a 1958 mystery/thriller directed by Alfred Hitchcock. This movie doesn't explore philosophical ideas like Stalker, but from start to end it is a complicated yet cohesive story that keeps you guessing at every turn. The use of color, which depicts feelings of desire, and the use of complementary colors specifically, which represent the two main characters, is visually and intellectually stimulating, while the acting and interesting plot carries the movie perfectly. Getting into the plot of this movie, though, it follows an ex-cop named John Ferguson, who's terrified of heights, as he gets hired by an old friend to follow his wife, believing she's possessed. I know this concept sounds kind of conventional and just sort of a cat and mouse type of follow movie, and nothing new, but I'm just scratching the surface because I'm afraid that I'm going to spoil it. This movie is masterfully crafted, and it is my personal favorite thriller movie, if not one of my favorite movies of all time. Number 3, Persona. Persona is a 1966 drama directed by Ingmar Bergman in his prime. It is Swedish, so again, you will have to be literate in order to watch it. This time I'm going to start off with the plot because it's kind of simple. It's about an ex-actress who's gone through mental trauma, rendering her psychologically mute, causing a nurse and her to go to a beach house and relax for a while. The real magic of this movie is the visual storytelling along with the complex, introspective subject that it covers, causing you to most definitely have an existential crisis. It is a very hard movie to explain without threat of spoilers, and I don't feel at liberty to try to explain its concepts, because in the end, this movie is a complete experience that will mean something different to everybody that watches it. Number 4, 2001: A Space Odyssey. The reason that I got into movies is because of Fight Club. But for me, the movie that was way more important in discovering exactly what cinema can explore and the beauty that it can capture in the hands of a capable director is this 1969 sci-fi movie directed by my personal favorite director, Stanley Kubrick. Again, every speculation and piece of analysis I offer is all subjective to me, and you will have a different experience. This movie has 4 parts to it. The beginning is about a group of apes when one finds tools and uses it to gain power over a watering hole by bashing another group's leader in the head. The next one follows a bureaucrat going to a conference to discuss something found on the moon. A little fact, actually, and the part that the man is speaking to the little girl is actually played by Stanley Kubrick's daughter. The next one follows 2 astronauts going to Jupiter and stuck in this spaceship with a murderous robot called HAL 9000. The final act follows one of the previous astronauts going through a wormhole and exploring all the stuff inside. Like many other movies in this list, this movie is able to explore deeper themes through visual storytelling and symbolism. This movie explores the part that technology plays in the evolution of man. This is best shown in one of the best edits in all of cinema history, between a bone that an ape has just used to take over a watering hole cut to a spaceship that is supposedly a nuclear one. Not only does this cut show years of technological progress in a second, but it also implies a very cynical idea of tech, implying that it is used to harm instead of more positive ways. Then in the end, the movie furthers that idea as the main character is transformed into the next evolution of man, as a being that has no use for technology in space. And number 5, Apocalypse Now.
This is the end, beautiful friend.
Apocalypse Now is a 1979 war drama directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who you might know as the director of the Godfather series. This movie took many long and grueling years to make, but all of that struggle seemed to have paid off because what came out of it is a deeply personal story that challenges morality and focuses on mental illness. The beginning montage of intercutting a force being blown to hell with Martin Sheen on a drunken tirade is able to visually depict PTSD in a beautiful and efficient way, while to the amazingly psychedelic sounds of The End by The Doors. Now getting into the plot of this movie, it is about Captain Willard being given a mission to go up river all the way to Cambodia in order to assassinate a rogue general played by Marlon Brando, a role that rivals Don Corleone himself. This movie will have you questioning everything you once thought about war as a tragedy is felt through the loss of characters you have grown to love. That is the other thing about this film. It is a very ensemble-type movie that gets you associated in loving every character on the boat that they use to go up river. Lastly, but certainly not least, it has fantastic visuals that are stunningly dark and beautiful. Seriously, this movie has some of the best shots ever. Just look.